what's up, guys? So, as you can see here, I've got two awesome wheels sitting up here. Two wheels that I've paired so far with my Moza R9 and Heusinkveld Sprint pedals. As you know, I've tried quite a few different wheels lately. I do a lot of formula racing, but I'm trying to jump into some LMP, some GT racing, and having a versatile wheel that can do multiple different things. I had the GS wheel, which I actually sold. I found I didn't use it as much because, again, I was doing a lot of GT and F1 racing, and I wanted something a little bit smaller. I think that wheel is absolutely amazing, and I think Moza really knocked it out of the park. But as you know, as sim racers, we're never done. We're always looking for the next upgrade. And so that's why I'm sitting here. Because this video is mainly about the practicality of what we buy. Now, granted, sim racers, again, we're extremely impractical. We want what we want, and we're willing to spend a ton of money, save up for it, to have that one thing we really want to have. And then when we get it, we might change our mind. But with that being said, I've seen the F Pro, and that's what we got here today is the Cube Controls F Pro wheel. And then on my right here, or your left, is the Leo XZ XF1 formula wheel that they have with that dash in the middle. And it got me thinking, the more I race with this, the more I absolutely love it. But it's really only good for formula racing. And being that I'm trying to jump into other cars, right now, I do not have an endless budget. I don't have sponsors that just send me wheels that I can try and use and interchange. I was lucky enough that Moza did send me the CS wheel, which I still use to this day. And I do enjoy that wheel and love it quite a bunch. But, every choice that you make when you're spending money and your hard-earned money on these wheels, you have to make decisions and you have to decide what do you want more so over the other. And once you've got, your wheelbase selected, really good. I've got 9 Newton meters on that Moza R9, so I'm solid there. May upgrade in the future, and we'll talk about that in a later episode. Now I've got my Heusinkveld Sprint pedals, so cool. I've got my load cell brake there so that, again, I can modulate my braking. Great. A nice wheel, but, before that, you got to have a nice solid rig, and I've got the GT Omega Prime rig, and we'll do a walkthrough of my rig and some updates and changes I've made and a few additions I've added to it. But I've got those things solid, so now it's like, okay, I've got those things. What do I want next? And again, getting a wheel that I can use for everything is the key. So this isn't really a review video as much as, again, the practicality of having a wheel rim with a dash versus not. Now, anybody who's bought a rig, an 80-20 style rig, knows 9 out of 10 times you're going to be sitting in more of a GT style sitting position. And by being in that GT style sitting position, how useful is that screen? I mean, it's nice. It tells me telemetry data. I can simply tap on a button here, and as you can see, I can change it to any of the multiple dashes, and we did go over that in the previous video. But how practical is it? One thing I started to notice is, as nice as this wheel is to have, and when you consider the cost of the wheel, how cost effective it is, it got me thinking, how much was I really using this dash versus the phone? I have an iPhone 6 Plus that I use right now until I get a dash that I want. How useful is using this dash? And to be honest, not very useful. It requires you to look down while you're trying to sim race. And in a GT style position, how useful is that to you, to me, to anybody? Having it is nice. If I sat in a more formula style, which this wheel is set for, then I think it would be even better. That I have this dash right there to glance any information as I'm looking over it to race. But I'm not sitting with my hands here where I can see that dash right in my vision as I'm looking to see the screen. No, I'm sitting more GT style, so it's much lower. Meaning I really have to then take my eyes off of the screen and look down to see the dash. So if I'm holding it, again, if I'm here and it's covering my face, which this is probably not the best way to do this. You guys want to see what I look like because I know I look awesome. Kidding. But as I'm racing, if I'm racing this way, that makes sense. I'm looking past it to the screen. But in a GT style position, now I'm here. Well, now I'm looking directly at you and I'm racing, and I'm shifting and I'm racing. I have to take my eyes off of what I'm doing to look down at the screen to see. Well, it's not very useful. And as much as I like this wheel and I think it's great for formula racing, I do not have a formula rig setup. So that led me to say, you know what, let's take a different wheel out. And as you all know, this is the Cube Controls F Pro, which I think is absolutely awesome. I think those illuminated night lights are absolutely amazing. And I've got it mounted with the Moza QR. I'll be honest, getting it on, not as nice as I would like it to be. I only have 3 attached, and for 9 Newton meters, it's fine. It doesn't move. It's solid. But the adjustability on this is really awesome. I really do like it. And again, I've liked every wheel that I've had thus far, whether it be Moza's wheels. I can't really say a wheel that I didn't like. But again, this is less about the wheel itself, but the practicality of having a screen on your wheel. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's very practical. I think whether you're looking at the GSI wheel, which is amazing. I got the chance to try that at Micro Center. If you can get to your local Micro Center, if they have them, give it a try. Awesome wheel. Of course, I have the Leo XZ XF1. I got to see and try the FSR from Moza Racing. Really nice wheel rim. I've gotten to try quite a few. I mean, Cube Controls just came out with their CSX3, and I was really trying to get that wheel. And in fact, had the opportunity to buy it, but then thought, again, how practical will it be for my everyday racing? That dash sits in a position I can't see. It sits in a position where it's not useful. Yes, it can and the CSX and the GSI wheels, you can use SimHub, which is like the most awesome tool in the world. If you haven't used it, by all means, give it a try. But again, how practical is it? How practical is having a dash on your screen over just getting a regular GT or Formula style wheel without a screen and then mounting that screen above your wheelbase? Now, as we know, whether you have Fanatic, you have SemiCube, whether you have Logitech, or whether you have Moza, or no matter what you have, there are attachments you can get, whether it's buying it directly from the company like Moza Racing and buying one of their dashes, or going ahead and buying a third-party dash and getting a mounting kit off of Etsy. Either way, you have options when it comes to dashes. I just don't know how useful this is, and I don't think it's very useful for most of the people that buy them, because you're sitting in a position where you can't really see it unless you have a cockpit that is adjustable. Now, if you have an adjustable cockpit and you can do GT and Formula style, then absolutely, I say have at it. If you have the ability, the funds, and the finances to be able to go out and buy all these wheel rims, or they're sent to you, awesome. You have the ability to use them for what they truly are. But I'm just a regular guy who decided to post some stuff on YouTube, and this is far more practical than this. As much as I like this, and again, really great for formula racing. It is 270 millimeters. I tried to do GT racing in it. I tried to do LMP racing. It is not very useful at all. It's just too small. This is 282 millimeters. Perfect size. I think, again, up to 300, depending on the type of racing you're going to do, obviously it's going to determine what type of wheel rim and what type of wheel you want. But anything up to 300, I think that Moza GS, again, has incredible versatility. I think it's an awesome wheel. I just wanted to try out something different. And again, I will continue to try different things out because I like the different ones, but I think I'm going to keep this Cube Controls for quite some time. Unless I luck up and get something, run into a whole bunch of money and I'm able to get a bunch of other stuff. But with that being said, again, rather short video here, but I just don't see the practicality of having any screen on a wheel unless you're sitting in a formula position and you can actually use it. Otherwise, again, as we know, sim racers, we're going to spend it purely for the aesthetics of saying that we have it. I've seen a ton of DIY wheels that I think are absolutely awesome. And again, a lot of those wheels have Vocor screens or different screens in it, and I think it's awesome. But I bet if you were to ask many of those individuals, can you actually see it while you're racing? The likelihood is no. Now, having an LED strip above, that's incredibly useful. I wish this had some sort of LED strip or something along the top, but maybe they made this more flush and they put an LED strip bar, something similar that you would have here, so you can see flag status, DRS, RPMs, and all those different things. I did buy an LED strip, and I bought a few extra things for my rig, so again, I'll be posting a video about those new additions that I've made. But again, screen, no screen. GT style racing, no, not going to work. Anything sitting in an upright position, not going to work. This is far more versatile. GS wheel from Moza, far more versatile. I had the McLaren wheel from Fanatic, and I had made a few modifications. If you looked at my first ever video, I really did like that wheel. I just wanted something a little more sturdy that wasn't plastic, that after all the modifications I made to it, that wheel turned into a $450 wheel, and it was still plastic. Whereas I got the Moza GS for $499, and that's a carbon fiber front with thumb encoders, like all the things you want from it. So again, this F Pro has thumb encoders, has rotary encoders, has all type of buttons. It has over 50, I believe, different inputs that I can use for it. So, which just makes it overkill. I'll be honest. As you look, I haven't mapped all the buttons to an actual use right now. Some of them are just blank. But again, like I said, the main focus of this video is this worth the money you're going to spend for it? Is getting something with a screen worth $1,600, $1,300, $1,200? Now, granted, this wheel was not $1,200. It was more than half of that price. So it's, yeah, totally worth it in the end. If you're a Formula racer sitting in a Formula style, I would say definitely look at this wheel. But outside of that, sitting in that style, are you just spending money to say you have something nice? Again, which we all do. I do not need a Cube Controls F Pro wheel. My GS wheel one was perfectly fine and did all the things I wanted to do. I just wanted a couple extra things. Mainly, I wanted these thumb encoders here so that I could just make changes right then with my thumb here. But again, both the wheel rims have a ton of different inputs, more than you're really ever going to use. But do you need a screen? Now, yes, this wheel is more than this one. But this one is very impractical and only has really one use. Formula style racing. Screen on the dash. Nice, but I couldn't see it. So I would tell any of you, if you're in the market and you're looking to buy some gear, one, click on my affiliate link below. I do have an affiliate link for Moza, so if you're looking for some Moza gear, I'd appreciate if you click on that link. This way you can support the channel in any way possible. You don't obviously have to click on that link. You can go anywhere you want to purchase anything that you like. I'm just asking if you do click on that link, it does give a small percentage here to the channel. This way I can afford to actually buy more gear, show you what it looks like, and get it up running on the channel. So I appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You're paying the same price you normally would. However, I just get a little bit just to support the little bit of things I'm trying to buy, which has been awesome. For those individuals who have clicked on the link and have purchased items under my affiliate link, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I've actually bought a few extra little immersion things that I'll be, again, going over in a future video once they all are here and I've got it all hooked up to the rig. But I do appreciate everything that you've done. Again, regardless of what wheel you get, I think it's a personal choice. I think it's things that you're going to enjoy, you're going to like, you're going to love, or you're going to go, absolutely, I don't like it. Ray, you were right. It's highly impractical. Why am I spending my money? I'm going to get something different. Again, whether you get the Moza FSR wheel, the GS wheel, the CS wheel, I would say if you're getting a wheel from Moza, I would say the GS wheel is awesome. The FSR is a really nice wheel rim. Again, it has a screen on it. Kind of proprietary in what you can put on it, but again, that wheel rim is really nice if you're sitting in a Formula style, or maybe just because of the price. Hey, it's definitely affordable, no different than this one. But I think the CS wheel may be their best wheel, just because that bolt pattern allows you to take stuff off. I've had Fanatic, and again, same thing. If you get something that's got sort of a universal hub to it, it makes it more versatile, so you can get more wheel rims. You can have more bang for your buck and save a little money in the end. But either way, regardless of what wheel rim that you purchase, whether it's GSI, which is awesome, I'm looking forward to their Formula Pro wheel to see what it's going to look like. I think it's going to have the thumb and rotary encoders that you want. But let's see the price tag on that, because as we know, these wheel rims get kind of expensive. But I would tell any and each and every one of you, look for practicality first before you make your purchase. Because as nice as this is, especially for the cost, being cheaper than this one, it's still not practical and not very universal unless you're really going to do Formula Racing. Outside of that, it gets a little too twitchy for GT racing. It's not very intuitive as I'd like as this one at 282. So that extra little bit of millimeters here, or on any wheel like the Moza GS or like the McLaren GT style wheel, they're both going to be really nice and do the job you want it to do. Again, everything is all subjective, so you pick what you like out of that. So as always, if you like the channel, if you think what I am providing is awesome service, go ahead and click on that thumbs up, click on that subscribe link, and turn the notifications on. By doing so, hey, you help support me, and so that I grow little by little over time. Those people who have clicked on the channel, I appreciate it. I'm looking to do another video on, really, to be honest, what's really the best sim racing game out there for newbies. I've only been sim racing for about a year now. Obviously, I used to play controller games, but sim racing with gear and a setup is vastly different than sitting on your PlayStation playing, F1 2020 with your controller. Fun, but vastly different than the world I'm in now. So we're going to make a video on what sim we think is really the best. Is it iRacing? Is it ACC? Is it Automobilista? Is it R Factor? Is it Race Room? Like, there's a whole litany of games out there. Is it F1 22? So many out there, so many choices, so many options. We're going to talk about that later. So as always, I look forward to you checking out the next video. As always, look at the links below. I do have a Discord channel. I do have a website. Check it all out. Let me know what you think. And if them changes need to be made, go ahead and leave some comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.